All right, so now quite often in costuming, we do what's called flatlining. And that's where we take two pieces of fabric, usually a lining fabric or a stiffener of some sort, and then the fashion fabric or the outside fabric, and we baste them together through a process called flatlining, and then they're treated as if they're the same piece of fabric, but there's really two pieces of fabric. For this example, what I want you to do is take one of your lengthwise sample pieces of muslin, fold it in half and press it, and then again, make about 1/4 of an inch in from the corner, 1/4 to 1/2 an inch is fine. It doesn't have to be perfect. Make a very significant line so you can see, okay? And what you're gonna do for flatlining, we're not marking this line. We have this line, we know where the seam is because we're gonna be treating this as one piece of fabric, so we know. We'll be looking at the inside, but we do need to hold these two pieces of fabric together so that they don't slide around as we're making the construction. So we're actually gonna use, and in this case, we would use matching thread, and we're going to do our basting stitch just on the outside or within the seam allowance of this line, okay? So again, it's the same type of thing. For this, I would backstitch because we're not sure how long it's gonna be. So if you remember backstitching, you make your first stitch, leave a tail, and then go back to that same spot and then go past it. And you're gonna do your basting right outside of that line. And what this does is, again, it holds everything together. And when you're flatlining, you're gonna sort of just stitch right off the edge, okay? So while you started right on the side, you're just gonna kind of keep stitching until your stitch falls off the edge, then rotate, and then pick up again on this side, okay? Rather than trying to make that tight corner. I'm not sure if the book tells you that or not, but this is the way I was taught, so. Okay, right, continue on. Stitches can be, as even as you can make them, it's fine. Nobody's really gonna see them. And then just stitch right off the edge, snip. And you can see that you see the stitches there, but what's gonna happen is we're gonna stitch the seam right along this line. And so once the seam is put together, on the right side, you won't see those stitches because they'll be in the seam allowance. That's why we do it slightly off the line.